grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage for the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Here we go. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. Man, I slept. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. Well, man, no. Said I'll never do it again. No. Man, I'm tired of this shit. Tired of it. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. Man, it's the detox. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. Said I would never do it again. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. I'm so tired of this shit. No. Hey there. Welcome to the Overcomers of Relapse podcast. I am D, your host. This is episode 2 of season 2 for my podcast. So welcome to all listeners out there. It is great to share this experience with you. I just want to put this right out there from the beginning. This podcast is not only pertaining to relapse, as far as drugs, alcohol, or any other addiction. We are open to all topics. However, our main topic is why do we have addictive behaviors and how can we overcome them? On episode 2 of season 2, I would like to talk on the topic of Protect Your Gates. Protect your gates. What are you permitting to enter your gates? Now, you may be asking the question, what is he talking about gates for? I don't even have gates around my residential area. My friend, we all have our own individual gates, and they are all connected to our being. Your gates are all the openings on your body that allows you to experience the freedom to decide what you let enter or exit out of them. But without getting graphic in details about every gate on your body, we will just stick to the few that I think play a major role in addictive and questionable behaviors. I want to talk about these 3 major gates: eyes, ears, and mouth. Well, let's start with the eyes. This gate is very different in perspective of each person. I guess pretty much the ears and the mouth really are also. However, there is a quote that says, "Beauty is in the eye of the beholder." So what you have to decide is, what is visually beautiful to you? And is it what you're capturing with your vision beneficial to your mind and your spirit? My friend, I have learned this experience the hard way. All that glitter is not gold. Don't be deceived by what you see on surface of a person, place, or thing, that you miss the true identity of its purpose underneath the surfaces. Ears. This particular gate is very, very important. Someone once told me a quote, "Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear." Now, I'm going to tell you, I personally agree and disagree with this quote. because without the full view or just hearing without listening, it is impossible for me personally to really make a choice I consider wise with partial information. You know the old saying, when you assume, well, you know the rest of the quote. When you draw your own conclusion on partial facts, you could be making the absolute wrong judgment about someone or a situation. Now, I know I may get some negative feedback on the next few statements. However, it's just my personal opinion. It is not written in stone. And would love to hear the opinions and feedback from you all. I think hearing is different. Personally, this is my belief. I think hearing is different for men and women. At least my wife tells me so. How many of you men have heard the statement, you just don't listen, or you just don't get it? Or ladies, how many times have you heard the statement from your man, I am done talking? You're going to end up right anyway. You just don't understand. Sounds familiar? I think if women are not careful, especially at a young age, can be easily deceived by what they hear. Like, oh, you know you are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Or, all my attention and focus is on loving you and you only. Sounds familiar? Women are usually attracted more so by what they hear. We as men hear and pretty much listen to our male egos, and we are mainly attracted to what we see. Now, in my personal opinion, both of these ways of listening can be damaging if you are not equipped with the maturity of not making decisions based on what your interpretation of what you are hearing, or are suffering from the upbringing of a past dysfunctional childhood that has not been resolved, and you are making choices off of what you heard as a child in your adult life. I did, and still have to work on it till this very day. Remember, we are all looking for love at any price, even if the love is toxic and dysfunctional. We all love and crave love, just in existence. It is called the human experience. Now, let's talk about the mouth. This gate can be ruthless and speak beauty at the same time. It can gossip and speak truth at the same time. This is a very powerful gate because it can bless and curse at the same time. There is an old quote that states, be quick to listen and slow to speak. Well, here I go again. I personally agree and disagree with this quote. I am not necessarily quick to listen to what everyone has to say, especially if I have already experienced a negative conversation with you, and in 5 minutes of a new conversation, you're talking the same negativity and dense language I have already experienced with you. Now, however, this is a perfect example of the mouth gate. because that's how it operates. But my question is it necessary for me to offend this individual verbally? Absolutely not. We all have our limits of understanding until the universe of life experience teaches us better. So we're all going to make mistakes or have our limitations of what we understand right in the presence until the universe or life experience teaches us better. Show compassion to people instead of letting our words hurt people. Let our words be of encouragement to help all that we may encounter. If you want to feel what people feel when you speak or say what you say to them, just remember the last time someone spoke to you in a negative, hurtful way and how it made you feel. Remember, people may not remember exactly what you said to them, but they will always remember how you made them feel when you said it. Now I'm going to talk about me. I personally have a problem with my mouth, and I have to watch mine carefully. I have hurt a lot of people with things I have said, especially under the influence of my addiction. And although I may have apologized for it, the effect of my words takes a longer time for people I love to get over it. So at one point, I decided, you know what? This trap of mine is always getting me in trouble. I am just going to mind my own business and keep my mouth shut. Now, here is the tricky part. I consider my mouth is also my gift. I have spoke a lot of uplifting and wise inspirational statements to people. Also, if I close my mouth gate, I have also shut down what I believe is my purpose. I have a short story. When my kids were younger, one was really tight with their personal belongings. As they became an adult, they were still what I consider I guess stingy is a good word for it. I spoke to this kid of mine and stated, listen to me, a closed hand cannot let anything out, but it cannot receive anything either. But at least with an open hand, you have the choice of what you let go or what you grab onto. My friend, please let us all protect our gates, because what we allow in them or out of them will determine our thinking process, our emotions, our lifestyles, our relationships, and most of all, how we love. The choice is yours. I personally choose to protect my gates with this process, and that is speak with love, always ask questions for more detailed information to make sure that I am understanding what the person is really trying to say. Always, always forgive. Always, always ask for forgiveness when I get it wrong. And then I hit my reset button and move on to the next possibility of helping someone with the language of love and humility. Well, that's it for my second episode